Hi, Paul and Michelle here from Hobby2Business. Welcome to the second episode of our weekly show, Hobby2Business Hub. So, obviously, hub meaning, where it all happens. This is where you're going to get the information from. So, tonight we're going to talk about the 6-step decision-making process. So, decision-making, how important is that as part of your business, passive income, hobby? Or how important is decision-making in everyday life? It's extremely important, isn't it? Some decisions, especially when you're talking about financial decisions, they can be make or break. So what we want to talk about tonight was just a general decision-making process that allows you to help evaluate the options in front of you and make the right decision with the most up-to-date and relevant information at the time. So we're going to start, Michelle's going to start by going through a couple of the steps.
All right, so the very first one is determine the problem and identify the goals that you need to accomplish your decision.
So, for example, for us, say in the world of Facebook, how do we engage more people, and how do we engage them regularly and more often? So, our example of that would be to do more Facebook Live and post things more often to engage people.
Okay, second one, engage your intuition. What are your instant feelings on the situation, and write them down?
Gut feeling is a huge part of decision making. I make a lot of decisions daily, whether that be, and so does Michelle, but whether that be as part of her business, being Hobby2Business and Corp Financial that she runs, as well as in my business, that I run as a full-time job outside of the home. So intuition plays a huge part because, a lot of times you call it gut. That's my word for it. I say, I go with my gut a lot of times when I have a feel for a person or a decision or a situation. So, but when you do engage those feelings or use your gut, you really should write it down as a process to make sure that you are evaluating it properly.
So that leads us into the third one. So this is collect information. So with this one, you don't want to be obsessed with researching every piece of available information. You want to go with more respectable companies.
Okay, so you can really get caught out here in this research part, because if you were to Google, let's use the previous example, how to engage more people with Facebook, I'm sure you would come up with hundreds of thousands of articles. Now, a lot of those articles could come up with contradictory things compared to others. So don't get caught up reading everything. Go to a couple of big names or well-respected people in the field and read that. Don't get caught up with reading 1,000 articles. Believe me, by the time you read the 997th article, you would have forgotten everything you've read from the 995th article all the way up. So,
for example, for the Facebook engagement, good companies would be like Forbes or Social Media Examiner, just to name a few.
And like you said, when you get on there, you'll see the names of the people that you've heard and and you trust. And realistically, you'll also see by looking at their content, like some of the content you see, you just go, like some of the things we look at, don't we? We just go, oh, that's rubbish. Okay, you'll see something that comes up, big bold letters, top 10 things you can do to get social media engagement. You read the first 5 and it's just rubbish. Okay, so like I said, don't get caught. You can get caught up here wasting so much time. Concentrate on some decent information. That's basically probably the takeaway from that, isn't it?
Yep. Okay, number 4. So you want to identify the actions needed to accomplish your established goals that you identified in the very first step.
Okay, so this is about, at this point, it's about actions. You've got goals, you've done some research, you understand what you need to do, so it's about putting some actions in place. So for us, putting actions in place, using that hypothetical one of getting more engagement, would be that we now need to look at what we're going to post, when we're going to post it, and how often we're going to post it. So they're actions, okay? So they're takeaway actions that are going to achieve our goals.
Okay, so step 5. So here you want to develop a list of pros and cons for each of those possible actions. So it's basically you want to do a table, just a T table, with your pros on one side and your cons on the other side, and just list them down.
nice and simple. You know, if the cons outweigh the pros, then it's a no. You know, it's a simple process. Just, you know, use it. It's nice and easy. You know, don't overcomplicate things. People often get too caught up overcomplicating things and doing things. You know, the old KISS rule: keep it simple, stupid. You know, there's so many ways to skin a cat, but a lot of times there's a really simple way to do it. Don't overcomplicate it. Sometimes people think about things too much, and they actually think themselves into a corner where they think, no, it can't be that easy. You know, and
I'm a big one for that.
and realistically, it is that easy. It is that easy. Don't overthink it. Follow your gut.
Exactly. So the sixth and final step is enlist the opinions of others and then combine your logic with your intuitive judgment about the best action to perform.
Okay, so, you know, talk to people that you know and trust. You know, someone you know has a good gut sense on things. And what you're really doing is you're getting different forms of opinions and information. So if you look back at the steps we've gone through, the other 5 steps before this, we've spoken about doing some research. Okay, so that's going to give you some information. We've talked about using your gut when you make a decision and writing down how you feel about things. So there's a second lot of information that you've gathered to make a decision. And now we're talking about enlisting a trusted opinion.
That's right.
You know, at Hobby2Business, a lot of times one of the main steps, you know, in the standard pillars we have that we use in Hobby2Business is about employing a mentor, you know, or getting a mentor in place that can help you with achieving your goals. Now that is the perfect person to talk to in getting that trusted opinion. So there you've got 3 bits of information gathered from different places. Now, if all 3 of those things point you in the same direction, well, there's an obvious choice to that decision. But if 2 things point you in one direction and one points you in another, you've got a decision to make. But the weight of that information and the decision-making process probably points you in the way of the 2 bits of information that leads you in the same direction. Now, if that's no, well, then that's the outcome. You know, so it is, I know some people are probably out there thinking, wow, you know, really over-talking this process, but they are a couple of basic things you can put in place. We use this process all the time with different things. We really do, you know, like we use it a lot and it works. It's nice and simple, like the whole thing, dead set. Like Michelle and I bounce things off each other when we do things. It can take, you know, this whole thing we're talking about here, a couple of minutes to make a decision. And, you know, at the end of it, you can be reasonably confident, or, you know, you can be very confident you're making the right decision. You know, but once again, don't overcomplicate it. You know, that's probably one of the biggest takeaways. So, you know, so out of all of this, a couple of basic steps. We hope you enjoyed it. We apologise for the notes, but we just wanted to make sure we did cover that 6-step process properly.
We'll also jump on and post the 6 steps in the comments down below after we finish this live session.
So you've got some notes you can go back and review and go over and take some notes yourself.
Because it does really help. And we do use it. It's tried and tested and it works.
It works. It definitely. We use it every day. I would have to say at least every day we use that process. Whether it be a quick process of ourselves using those steps, or whether it's the full bounce off the other person type thing. So we hope you enjoyed episode 2, our weekly show of Hobby2Business Hub. So the other exciting thing we've got to announce is that we have a Valentine's Day competition coming up. Obviously, for all you people with you know, special other halves out there, there's, you know, obviously it's Valentine's Day soon. Don't forget it. You know, your life will not be worth living. Okay, so but we are launching our Valentine's Day competition tomorrow. So one lucky follower of Hobby2Business will win this lovely gift that they can give to their partner. And there's things in there for a couple to use, or kids, or whatever. You know, like it's a really good pack. Plenty of stuff in there. One thing I want to add, I noticed the last couple of competitions, what we've done, people have been making a bit of a mistake. Instead of following the Hobby to Business page, they're liking the post. Now, don't worry about liking the post. It'll be like all of our other competitions, okay? Like and follow our page, share the post.
Share the post, yeah.
So people are making a bit of a common mistake and they're liking the post, not our page. Make sure you like the Hobby to Business page, because if you don't do those couple of steps,
your entry's not valid.
Your entry's not valid. You know, we've got to go with people that do the appropriate steps. So read it, but make sure you follow our page, okay? And that's an essential step, because we know probably on the Christmas one we did, probably I think over 50% of entrants, and I mean we had nearly 1,000 entrants, nearly 1,000 entries, well over half. I think we got to up over about 600 people had liked the post and not our page. You've got to like and follow our page.
And it just means also too, if you like our page, you'll show up. Will show up in your feed. So any other competitions, and we do probably at least 4 or 5 competitions a year.
Yeah.
That way you'll be notified of any competition that we're doing, any Hobby to Business Hub tips or anything like that.
Our weekly show, Hobby to Business Hub. So
you'll get
you'll get everything, and I mean that's the idea of it. You know, we want to help people, and like I said, in us, you know, we're people who've done it. We have turned our hobbies into businesses. You know, so it's all about us teaching what we've learned. We've done the hard lessons. We didn't have mentors. We didn't have the people helping us. You know, we learned some very hard lessons along the way, but
a lot of wrong decisions,
yes,
which we've learnt from.
But there's no reason why everyone out there needs to make the wrong decisions.
That's right.
You can learn from us, the people who have done it, the experts in the field who have made those mistakes. It means you don't have to make them. So that's what Hobby to Business is all about. So
something went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
Lovely Google Home. Don't you love it? Funny thing about the Google Home we've got going at the moment, it doesn't recognise my voice when it recognises Michelle's voice, even though I'm synced into it. It doesn't recognise my voice when I ask it something, but when I do a Facebook Live or something like this, it always comes on.
Randomly.
Love it. Gotta love randomly. Gotta love technology. Okay, so anyway, we hope you enjoyed that process. The little tip we use on decision making. Keep an eye out for our Valentine's Day competition that's starting tomorrow. It will be drawn on Valentine's Day. Okay, so one lucky person's going to win this great pack. You'll see it up there tomorrow. We'll see you next week on Hobby to Business Hub.
Bye, guys.